Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip, hooray. Hip hip, hooray. Hip hip, hooray. Justin. Broke. It's my birthday. 55. There we go. Well, we just got to one for Glenn. For Glenn. They're all Glenn's number plates. Now, Moto GC. There. Hey buddy. Oh. For those people that have, if it's their birthday today, or you got a birthday coming up, happy birthday. And you know, you're going to be celebrating it without a special person there in your life. You know, I understand it's hard. It is hard. But you still celebrate it. Some birthdays are very hard to celebrate. Glenn's mum passed away on his birthday. My mum killed herself on my birthday. Well, they found her body on my birthday. We used to bring each other up, you know, when it was our birthdays. You know. Beautiful. Where's my spoon gone? Oh, there it is. Yeah. So, I don't really celebrate my birthday because, you know, with what happened with my mum, you know, and Glenn not being here, sort of. So I celebrate it with you, my subscribers. Hey, celebrate my birthday with you. So, happy birthday to you. And there's plenty of cake. This cake is a red velvet cake. Yeah. Been hard, isn't it? We've got hard times coming up too. You know, it is hard. Losing people. But what makes it harder is the way you lose people. You know, I've never lost anybody slowly, you know, of age or of illness, you know, long illness or just of old age, you know. My grandma, she went suddenly when I was 10. And then I had a mate in primary school, Richard. He went suddenly. And other friends, you know. And then I lost Funky. Yeah, that was quick. He was given a cancer diagnosis he didn't even know he had. He was in jail, and, you know, when he was in jail, he had got cancer in the finger. So they chopped the end of his finger off. And that was back in the day when, you know, they chopped it off and they didn't do retesting, you know. Because he was in jail, you know, they didn't really care much. Anyway, he gets out, you know, years go by. And he had a sore stomach. And I was at work, and he couldn't even tell me he got someone else to ring me. They'd given him 4 weeks. We managed to get 8. We got 8. Oh, and then there was Vinnie Servi. He was killed by Dave Curran, shot in the back. That was sudden. Then I find out, you know, Glenn goes. was quick, that was sudden. I first knew my mum. You know, my mum and I, we weren't close, but I didn't want that. I was the one who put her there. That's why it's hard for me. I had to get her removed from her apartment and put into care. Good care. There was no cat team, it was a medical team in the police. You know, she was in their care. I put her there. She died in their care, like that. I never got to see any of these people's. The thing that is, all these people I'm mentioning, I never got to see them. No. Say your last goodbyes, you know. Oh, and then there was Dean. He died in a motorcycle accident. That one holds heavy with me. We're at Lacola. We used to do this motorbike rally, confusion rally. Anyway, Dean, they used to call him Mini-Me, right? Because he was like me, but just a smaller version, younger. Anyway, I used to like going up Lacola, the roads and that. And because we were the club running it, you know, we stayed the extra couple of days to pull everything down. And, you know, he was a member of the club anyway. The rally was over. And that's when I, you know, go and cut it up on the roads, you know, on my Fireblade. And Dean, well, we rode together and stuff, but he asked if he could tag along, you know, with me. And I just wanted to ride, you know, I didn't want to have, well, you know, just wanted to ride my bike, you know, just wanted to open it up and just go and not have the worry of someone following, or, because Dean, you know, he was young and learning. And I know that I was going to be going pretty fast and that. And I said to him, I said, mate, I said, I don't really want you to come. I don't want you to try and chasing me and stuff. And, you know, I said, I just want to go out and have a quick couple of runs, you know. And then, you know, when we leave, I said, we can, you know. He understood, but at the same time, looking back now, it sort of deflated him a bit. And then 4 days after that, he tried overtaking some cars. Was coming down, and there's a intersection here where a car, and he's going down the outside into oncoming lane, oncoming traffic, and this car's pulled out, seen the gap and gone, and this Dean. And he could have made it if he knew how to brake. And I didn't take him with me. He would. I could have taught him how to brake. He's so young, that quick, you know. And my mum and Glenn, and then I was over to a mate's place. And I'm sitting there, and I see you know, a book, a card with Peter Eliopoulos on it, his face, and it's his, funeral. And I said, is this a joke? Holding it. And my mate Justin, he's turned around and he said, you and Peter worked together, didn't you? I said, yeah. I said, when did he pass away? Peter and I used to work together in security, close. We were good mates, had each other's back, Didn't do much with each other outside of work, but at work, we were, and if we were working at different venues, we were there for each other too, And hadn't seen him. One of them friends where you can not see each other for a couple of years and pick up where you left off, it's fine. But we trained in the gym, not together, but we trained in the same gym and stuff. And anyway, I hadn't seen him anyway. I heard that his brother passed away. And him, his brother was, were really close. I rang him up and I said, hey Pete, how you going? He's going, oh mate, how are you? I said, I'm sorry to hear about your brother. And he said, yeah. And like we'd caught up, we'd seen each other a couple of weeks beforehand, before his brother died. Yeah. Anyway, I asked if I can put up a bit of a eulogy, for his brother. I had Pete ring me and his family, they knew me. Just a little piece, I put up. And they all liked it, And I said to Pete, listen, I'll give you a ring. I'll give you some space, I'll call you in about a week, all right? He said, yeah, thanks. He said, yeah. Well, it turns out that was the last phone call he ever got. Her mate, I was the last voice he heard. He had a heart attack. He didn't even make it to his brother's funeral. They buried him together. So when I rang, I didn't get anything, I didn't know. No one knew to ring me. And, rang again. I thought, he's probably, he's still a bit upset with his brother. So it just went, and that was 2 years went by, and then this, I saw it, and they worked it out on his phone. I was the last one he spoke to. It's the way you lose people. It's the way you lose things in life that stick. I've never had anyone, pass away, if you could say, in a normal way, They've all been fit, well. It's hard. I know you out there, you're finding it hard too. And you wonder where you get the strength from, eh? Oh, things aren't going well, Work, relationship, money. Just can't seem to get two things to go right. You miss the ones you love. Yeah, and then before you know it, you're on your own. My auntie Pat passed away, Uncle John. My mum. People ask, you got family? You never think you're going to be that person to sort of say, no, I don't. They're all gone. I've got a grandson out there I don't see. I've got a daughter that could have been anything. Could have been anything. I understand when she was young she had no choice and she was rebelling and stuff like that. But now that she's 30, in her 30s, she's a woman. She can make the change. I have a son. I'm proud of him, but there's things there that I see and yet I love them, I wanted the best, and they think I'm the baddie. I hope that they understand, it'd be nice for them to just sit back for a bit and just go what I went through for them, missing them. Having to sit here and know that someone got into their head and I wasn't there to, speak for myself. People made them believe in different things. There are two sides to every story, but I think it is easy to see which side is the one to believe. And you want to give up. 55. Got no family. Not married. Too old to have kids. Mary's too old. You sit down and you wonder what you did. You do. And then you look at your desires and your age and things that you wanted to do and whatever, and it just hasn't happened. And if it does, it's too late now because you're too old, There's things you do at certain ages. And then you're just like, there's no desire anymore. There's no desire to ride the bike. The streets are out of control. So there's not a future to look forward to. Government's ripping us off. No one listens. No one gives anyone the time of day. Everyone's out for their own narratives. People don't do good work. And it's sad. I knew these days were coming. I knew it would be my generation to see all this. But yet, I see someone in need, and I care. I don't look for the wounded, but I can feel them. I like to help. And yeah, I'll say it. It helps me. It stops me from thinking about my shit and help you. I feel better. You feel better. Then you pass it on. That's what I've always said. If we go back to how we used to be, and we were, before we were so overridden with, immigrants that just will not mix with us. No. You can't touch your super to help your kids get a house or anything, but Albanese wants to take your super and build immigrant housing with it. Hey, lovely. Can't do 100 anymore in rural zones. It's 80. That's great. Yeah. Next we'll have a dog in Parliament, won't we? With a pussycat, because the Furbies will get in. I'm not a racist, but I'll tell you this. People just need to relax and calm down. Like if I was to sit here now and do a blackface, does that make me a racist? I couldn't believe that when I saw that on Daryl Summers. Those two blokes just came out just doing a Michael Jackson thing, and people went off their heads, mate. How else do you play Michael Jackson? He's a black man. You can't tell jokes anymore. It's not funny. People, I look at it, there's a couple of reasons why people don't go out. Number one is, it's very dangerous. It's violent. Carjackings, it's out of control. It is. Jacinda Allen's got her head up her ass and up everyone else's ass. She's got no idea. The three of them went over there. Andrews was over in China, and then Albanese went over, and then Jacinda Allen went over, and they all went and had a look at the pandas. That's lovely. On our dime. On our time. And all Elbo's done is just sits there and goes, well, I bring a bit of Australia to it and let them know what we're like. Yeah? Well, I'm nothing like you, mate. I've got a chin. Right? Okay? And I don't, like this. And I don't constantly bring up that I was a product of community housing with a single mum. All he's done is go on holidays, take his girlfriend, then get engaged to her, right? Go on more holidays, buy a $4 million house, and now he's just backdooring us. Admission free by 2030. Fucking hell. Gas barbecue's gone. The shit that I'm going to see them people are going to be fighting. My generation is not going to have any peace. It's fighting now. And why am I here? I don't know. I'm weak. I try. One person understood what I meant. It's just a fight, mate. And it's hard when you've got no one to talk to. Who knows you? It's hard because you know, the one that you could talk to didn't get involved in your conversation. You know how hard it is to talk and not have that person you're talking to get involved in the conversation? You know how rare it is to find someone like that. That's one thing I can say I can do for people. If you want to talk, I'm there to listen. I don't want to be a part of your conversation. I'm not going to be bringing up things in your conversation or point, oh yeah, I hadn't said, oh yeah, I went, you know, that. No. But if I do say something, it'll be guidance, not relating to. Big difference. Oh, I want you to talk. But while you're talking, you know, there's going to be endings to things. And that's where someone who's a good listener, who's not wanting to get involved in the conversation, because what you're actually doing is you're actually talking and you're listening to yourself. You're actually trying to map it out yourself. But you know, as humans, we don't talk on our own. It seems that we're crazy. And people do try and talk, but it gets just frustrating sometimes because people interrupt or they go, oh yeah, no, well, and then they start their own conversation. But hang on, I want to get this off. So if there's anything I can do there, I can listen and I can give you advice. If I know something, if I can help, I will. But other than that, I can sit there and just let you talk. And more than likely, I'll understand what you're going through because I've lived a pretty full life. Full on the misery and sadness and shit bucket, and you know, had some funny moments and some joy, had some flashes there. You just get to an age and you just I don't want to be doing this anymore. It's not that I don't want help. And I don't want people to help me. Like, in a position of, you know, I can hold my own. I can, but, yeah. But it's hard when you lose that person who knows you and they know your moods and they know as soon as you walk in. And they'll crack a joke, you know. And you'll do the same with them. And you share the same passions, you know. Family, bikes, loyalty, trust. People say they trust. Yeah, trust, yeah. I've seen people's trust. When you hear them saying it, they don't trust you. Okay? And they say, yeah, I trust you. Yeah, right. They're watching every move you make. And God help you if anything goes missing. I'm a person who likes to work, know what I'm doing. I'm there to help someone. Then you've got those people who mean well, but they gaslight you. You know, just the way they start. Just morbid people, you know, those morbid ones. Fucking hell. You know. And then once you've gone through that and you've banged your head up against the wall and everything else like that, you know, of all these people just not understanding what they're doing and saying and everything else like that, and you're at your wit's end and stuff, you've just got to turn around and lift your head up and just get it. What a fucking, you've just got to fucking laugh. You got to laugh. You've just got to laugh. And then you realise that you're laughing on your own. Because the ones that get you aren't there that would be laughing with you. Then people think, they see you laughing, they think you're an ass, you're a dickhead or something. I mean, I could sit here now and I could tell you a few things about people. But what for? What for? Just gossip. It's just gossip. Let me tell you, if you're a person that listens to others about someone and you don't investigate that someone, then you're a fool. You know? You know, I do listen to people when they say, don't go over that fence because it's a sheer drop. I'm not an idiot, so there's no, it's all right, I'll learn for myself, I'll find out on my own, thanks. There is a lot of good advice out there that should be taken. And a lot of people aren't taking it. And they're taking the other advice. Let me tell you, you know, how many of you have been in a clicky group? I never wanted to be in a clicky group, but I've always been around it. Or they've sourced me out and I'm just in it. I've been in some situations where wasn't my situation. I was just there. I got dragged into it. You know, I look at these groups, these bikies and whatever, their brotherhoods and stuff like that, you know. And I mean, you know, you couldn't get any tighter than Glenn and I. That was the pinnacle of, you know. But at the same time, if I was a dickhead, he'd tell me. He wouldn't stand for that. He'd go, you know, what are you doing? Make it right. You don't make it right, see you later. That quick. It's that quick. People make excuses and excuses and excuses. If your best mate does something that's just wrong and doesn't try to make it right, you know better than him if you're still walking with him. That's what life is. It's that quick. You either are and you're trying, or you don't. Well, then you're over there and you were never here. It's that quick. You know, how hard is it to pick up the phone and just give someone a quick call? Here you go. Quick text message. You know, we've got all the forums for it, all the stages, Facebook, Instagram, you know, Zing, Wang, you know, all of them. And what do they call it? I'm following. Funny that, isn't it? Like a sheep. You're following. I follow. follow to say hello. Hey? Yes. You were following. You know, we're all different. Even if you're the same, you're different. Don't try to be anyone else but yourself. But you got to find yourself. I was lucky. A friend, a group of us went up to the Northern Territory when we were younger, at 25. And I'd had a pretty bad car accident, and after that then I had a bike accident. And I was a young dad in a relationship that really didn't want me, but I stayed. I stayed. I tried changing myself and everything. Just wasn't getting anywhere. Wasn't moving forward with my life. Wasn't happy. I used to get on my bike. I used to ride it. Only on those right days. When I was riding to work, no, I was going to work. I had to be alive. But on those Sundays, I rode that bike like I was going to be my last breath. I had seasoned riders come up to me in that game. Mate. One old bloke said he saw the devil jump off my bike. And his mates turned around and said, yeah, and then he reached back and he grabbed him and made him hang on. But we went up to the Northern Territory. You want to find yourself? Go up there. Go to the Northern Territory. Go bump into yourself, because you will. You will. I've watched people, mate, up there, lost, and then bang. We can all walk alone. We all can. But it's nice to walk with someone. You know. It's like, you know, when you're in a bit of a group and someone's having a go at you, you know, you feel a bit, yeah, alright, he's got me back and stuff. But you shouldn't be any more relaxed in a group than if you're on your own. When I did security, wherever I did it, I always worked that I was on my own, but I knew I had guards. I didn't forget them, and I told them to do the same thing. Work like you're on your own, but know that we're all there. You know, and they'll never find a weak spot then, because you're covering everything. You're not relying on them. You're covering them. They're covering you, but you don't know. And yeah, you become impenetrable. You don't work on the narrative that someone's got your back. You work like you're on your own. because then you look out for more and you're seeing more. Your senses don't relax. If a beef for you goes, it's alright, he's there. You don't lose one sense, you lose quite a few. And it creates a gap. Because you're not covering it, because you know he's there. I want you to cover it like he's not there. Helps both of you. So, who's for a bit of cake? Hey? Happy birthday. I hope someone got some use out of this. Good to celebrate your birthday. You were born on this day. And you're here. Everything is allowed to have a little celebration. And I choose to celebrate it with you. My friends. The people I care about. Yeah. Alright? So, go get a pie. And get to know yourself. Hey? Know that you can walk alone. You got to do it. Alright. Take care. Thank you. Like and subscribe and leave a comment, please. Mary's feeling much better.